DorkLair.
Welcome to another DorkLair collecting video. Today I'm taking a look at the Morphonauts action figures. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because these guys have a new Kickstarter coming up for Wave 2 or Series 2, I guess, of their Morphonauts. This is not something that it's kind of like a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but they contacted me and they said they're trying to, with their second wave, kind of change things up a little bit and go to something that's a little more collector friendly, like something that's a little more in the kind of like the realm of customizers, in particular the 3.75 scale. Now these guys are a little bit bigger than 3.75. This is the Wave 1 Morphonauts. But the Wave 2, the Kickstarter starts right now. They are going to be smaller scale. They look to me a little more detailed, and they have ramped up the articulation by a ton. These Wave 1 figures have 13 points of articulation, and the Wave 2 figures are going to have 25 points of articulation, and a few more options like swap out heads and so on. And they're also going to, if the Kickstarter hits, I think 100,000, they are going to add on a large mech. So it's pretty cool. Like, these might not look like something that I would normally have on the channel, but the Wave 2 stuff is. So they sent out these figures to me and asked me if I could kind of share it out and talk about their system a little bit, which is basically magnets. So this guy has a magnet on his arm, magnet on his leg, and magnets all over the place. And they're very swappable, very sort of customizable, and you can mix and match with the other guys. And that's kind of like the premise of the line. So as I'm looking at these, I'm thinking magnets, but as I think ahead to the Kickstarter, I'm more thinking, okay, these are going to be a little bit more collector level. They're going to be a little bit more in that kind of like CRISPR sculpts, super articulated kind of thing. So they're trying to, I think, transform a little bit away from, generally like kids' toys, and then attract, both kids who will still be able to, of course, play with them, but also a little bit of that adult customizer collector kind of market there as well, which is why they got in touch with me, because I'm generally more of adult collectibles than like children's toys and stuff. All right, so here's a little sheet they sent me, and you can see the comparison in points of articulation at this on this page here. And so on the left you have this guy, Pyro, and on the right you have their new figure coming out, who I think kind of looks like a Cylon a little bit. But you can see it's a lot more articulation. These don't have any sort of foot articulation. These have hinges and rockers in the ankles. Double jointed knees, still single jointed elbows, but you don't really, they swivel as well, and you don't really ever see, 4-inch figures with double jointed elbows, but lots of great stuff. And then they have like a swap out head on that guy. So, from going from this to this, I feel like they're moving from almost like a very basic toy to something a little more like, not deluxe, but kind of collector level, like for posing and maybe customizing. And they also said that if they hit 70,000, they're going to have blanks available, so you can get them just not painted, and then you can like paint them up yourself and customize them. But here's a scale comparison. And then on the other side, you can see what's going to be in the upcoming wave. So they're going to have a bunch of different options color-wise, and they're going to have 3 main figures, and then those 3 figures in a bunch of different colors. This guy is my favorite, I think. Even though I love insects, I think that's cool. But, I don't know, for some reason this guy fits the scheme. It just seems right. Like, I bet this guy's going to be a lot of fun to mix and match and play around with the robot. So you have essentially a robot, a leader, and then an insect. And over here you have the robot, this guy, and then you have the leader, what I'm calling the leader, and then you have a creature, a crab guy. Anyway, so the main thing to look at here is what's going on, like what is this line all about? And this line is about modular parts with magnets. So you can pretty much take the figure apart very easily, and they're magnetized. Wave 2 is going to have even stronger magnets. There's a little bit of range of motion in the peg in there, but I think it's really just a little bit of a hinge. But according to the pamphlet, it's going to actually have a ball joint in the shoulder. Like in those joints, you're going to have more of a ball joint, so you're going to have a bit better range of motion. But yeah, so you have the torso with the little magnetic parts, and you can kind of mix and match. Like you could, if you wanted, put these things on for his arms. And then you could take maybe this guy's legs, stick them on him, and mix and match these parts. Let's see how this guy looks with some guns as arms. There we go. Now he's got guns as arms. So, I mean, this is a lot of fun, even just for little kids. But I can imagine once they get a little more advanced with their articulation and all their stuff, it's going to be very cool, even for collectors and customizers and stuff. So, I can't really review this per se because it's going to be a lot different in their Wave 2, a lot more articulation, but you get a sense now of what these are all about with these magnetic joints and mixing and matching and whatnot. So let's see, let's give him one more change. We'll put this head on him. There we go. There's my new guy. There's my original creation. And yeah, they're pretty cool. This first wave, to me, very much feels like children's toys, but I'm probably going to back the Kickstarter. It's $40 to get the 3 figures, and then if it hits 100,000, the mech will be available. I'm not sure the price on the mech, but if the mech becomes available, I'm definitely going to order that. But anyway, I hope you liked my little quick look here. Thank you to Morphonauts for sending these out. I had a lot of fun with these little guys. Look for some pictures on Instagram, and the Kickstarter's live today, so head on over to Morphonauts. I'll put a link in the description below. And until next time, may the force be with you.